Hi everybody, it's Saturday again. Um, this morning I finished this book. Wow. This woman who wrote the book, Stephanie Winston Wolkoff, was a high-end planner, event planner. She did the Met Gala and stuff like that. So, she wasn't just Melania's friend, but she also was Melania's friend. And I'll tell you what, this book reveals what a snake pit that White House is. I mean, from the top to the bottom, everybody pitting against each other. From the moment that they won, and she does not say in here that Melania cried or, was disappointed and all that kind of stuff. She writes that they were all convinced that Trump would win, much to our surprise, right? And that was totally different from what we'd been told. And that Melania was very happy about it. Now, maybe she's just saying that. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is there. But she worked her ass off for free. The inauguration, she did get paid like $500,000. But they blamed her for losing. They're saying she stole $80 million. And all in all, Rick Gates sat on the stand and admitted that he had stolen money from the presidential inauguration campaign. This girl right here, she's on the up and up. They ruined her. They totally ruined her, and her best friend, Melania, helped. Now, the things that were not shocking that I found out about were Ivanka, and what a little snake she is, a rattlesnake. And, her dad is very vengeful and vindictive and jealous. And, well, the little princess goes and does the exact same thing, only she's secretive and sweet about it. And, for example, when Melania stayed in New York after the president had moved to Washington, D.C. After the inauguration, Melania went back to New York because she wanted her son to be able to graduate that year of college whatever grade he was in New York. She didn't want to change horses in the middle of the stream that year. So, whatever. But what happened was that Jared and Ivanka were going to try to take over the East Wing, which is the First Lady's domain. And so they were all trying to move in on that. And so this girl, Stephanie, had to be there and protect the First Lady's interest, okay? But because Melania wasn't there, the West Wing started hiring all these people, and it used up the budget for the East Wing's staff. So the East Wing could have no staff. I mean, they had, Ivanka and Jared and Don and all these people. Omarosa was on board. Remember when we talked about Omarosa the other day? Well, it wasn't just that Laura Trump called Omarosa and asked her to stay on with the campaign. What she did was called her and said, "We will allow you to stay on with the campaign if you don't write a book or if you keep your mouth shut." Omarosa wasn't going for any of that. This book reveals how Trump has absolutely no regard at all for our military. He stood with John Kelly at John Kelly's 29-year-old son's grave and said, "I don't get it. Why do people do this?" John Kelly is a general. And I remember another story that John Kelly said, not in this book, but that they were coming back from Asia, I don't know where, Japan, whatever, I don't know where they were. But they had a layover and they had to gas up the plane, and so the Trumps were taken by John Kelly to the USS Arizona in Pearl Harbor, and Trump had no idea what that was all about. It was like he had never heard of Pearl Harbor. He didn't know what the Arizona was. You know, yesterday I started marking pages to read to you all the good parts, and then I realized, past the introduction, almost every page needed to be marked. I took out and threw away 25 or 30 of these markers. Oh my, it just, oh, the Trumps have a family crest. That I thought was a hoot. These people are just trash with money. Boy. And Ivanka is the snake of the snakes. There wasn't really any big bombshells that we didn't already know about, except about the palace intrigue and how really Melania and her little crew were pretty much kept out of the loop. Wow. All about the jacket, okay? She said that she wore it because she wanted to get the media's attention because she was going down to the border to see the children. And when she was down there, she was told coyotes brought these children over the border, and otherwise nobody would take care of them. But now they have a bed and a bureau drawer to put their clothes in. They're not sleeping on the floors. Well, yeah, they are. But they don't know what's going on. The kids I met were brought in by coyotes, the bad people who are trafficking, and that's why the kids were put into shelters. They're not with their parents, and it's sad. But the patrols told me the kids say, wow, I get a bed, I will have a cabinet for my clothes. It's more than they have in their own country where they sleep on the floor. They are taken care of nicely there. And their mothers, they teach their kids to say, I'm going to be killed by gangs. They don't want to stay. Oh, listen, I'm going to be killed by gangs, so they're allowed to stay. They are using that line, and it's not true. This is Melania talking. They don't want to stay in Mexico because Mexico doesn't take care of them the way that America does. Yeah. Wow. I mean, Melania is totally clueless about what is really going on. But the other thing, the biggest thing that I got out of this book, besides Ivanka being the low-down, dirty, backstabbing snake that she is, not that these two didn't do their little bit of mean girl shit, but is that Melania doesn't give a rat's ass what anybody thinks of her, what the American people think of her. I mean, she seriously really just doesn't care about anything but herself. She doesn't even care about Donald. When all this stuff came out about, the grab him by the pussy, that's the first words in here, grab him by the pussy. Reverberated around the world on October 7th, 2016, right before the election. So at the time of that recording, that Access Hollywood recording, Donald and Melania were practically newlyweds, and she was a few months pregnant. I'd never heard him speak that way in my life, and it didn't ring true. But his reputation for being a Lothario preceded him, so of course it was possible. Wow, was I in for a shock when I heard the video with my own ears. Donald had actually said that. Okay, well, here's the other thing. Melania doesn't care. She was asked, aren't you angry, by her friend. She said, nope. He is who he is. I told him that if he ran for president, he had to be ready for everything to be opened up and exposed his whole life. And yours too, I thought. And I asked, are you really ready for everything about Donald and your past and your marriage? And she said, that's that. She didn't care. She does not care. I was in awe of her uncrackable composure. It's my life, she said. It's nobody's business. So that's pretty much what I got out of this deal. I mean, I'm really looking forward to getting Michael Cohen's book, and I am the Stephanie Winston Wolkoff. As much as she was a little mean girl with Melania to try to block Ivanka, out of the main pictures at the inauguration, she seems to me to be honest. Overall honest, integrity, and honorable, and that I really don't think that she would ever do to a friend what Melania did to her. I mean, that's just my take. How I get out. I don't think she took the money. As a matter of fact, she worked for a year for nothing because the West Wing had taken all the budget. They couldn't hire a staff. She gave up her salary so that they could hire a chief of staff. So she worked for free. She gave up her salary and her position, or her whatever, she was like I don't know what her position was called, because they kept changing it around, so but she really worked her ass off. And from the very beginning, when she was asked to be on the presidential inauguration committee, people like Rick Gates, who was in on it from the very beginning, kept moving the budget around. They wouldn't let her see the budget. They wouldn't let her go to the budget meetings. She wasn't knowing what anything cost. They were keeping her in the dark. It was like a big shell game. I mean, they knew from the beginning that they were going to blame all this on her, and they did. And for a long time, her life was in shambles. So I'm glad that she's coming out of it. So that's my story. That's what I got out of it. Now, Michael Cohen's book will be here in a couple days. I think this is I don't have my phone over here. I think this is the 4th. Is it the 4th? I have to look. No, it's the 5th. So, I think that 7th, 8th. That is Tuesday. Is Tuesday the 8th? Yeah, Tuesday is the 8th. So, I've pre-ordered books before, and I know when I order them on Audible, they're ready to download like that at midnight on the 8th, or whatever day they come out. I've also ordered, I ordered the Mueller report, and I ordered James Comey's book. And as soon as they were released, that day, they were on my doorstep. So I'm expecting to get Michael Cohen's book on Tuesday. And I'll bet you anything that's got some bombshells in it, so that's going to be fun. I can't wait to read that. So anyway, I wanted to use my new tarot deck today. That somebody's texting me. Probably my ex-husband. He's mad at me. I don't care. That's why he's my ex-husband, right? But I'm not really sure what I want to read on. I would like to know For one thing, I know, because just like my dad told me, and I've told you guys, just like my dad told me years and years ago, they always get caught. They always get caught. And they're going to get caught. The truth is going to come out. Now, this girl is under, not gag orders, but she's working with three different criminal investigations. And, you know, I know these people work for Barr. I mean, they're federal investigators. They work for Bill Barr. Or as somebody called him, Barf. I don't remember who said that, but that's what I'm going to call him from now on, Bill Barf. He's just he's a disgusting lying pig, just like his boss. I forgot my point. Oh, it's all going to come out. All of it. It's all going to come out. And then these people, like my current husband, who thinks Trump can do no wrong and that we're on the right track and everything is the fault of the Democrats, and all these Democrats and the Antifa are the ones out causing all this trouble in all these Democrat cities, which is pure BS, as you all well know. Maybe then they will see. I don't know. But one thing that they call in this book, Michael Cohen comes in at the very end, and they talk about Fox News, state-run media. Michael Cohen is talking with Stephanie, and he records records their conversation. Her world is falling apart around her, and she's hysterically crying, and he's sitting on her couch, and he's recording every word she says. And fortunately, it might have been a good thing. Anyway, she even had hired some attorneys who didn't bother to tell her that they were also working with Ivanka and the Trumps. I mean, that's a total conflict of interest. They were probably going right behind her back. The attorneys. Somebody that you're supposed to trust. Oh, here's this. Michael Cohen wants to know, you should take solace in knowing if the FBI or Southern District really thought you stole money from the inauguration, you would have gotten a phone call. How is Jared not behind bars? It makes no sense. Our intelligence community is the best in the world, and they don't know he's playing the Qataris against the Saudis for money? Wow. Anyway, yeah, Jared and Ivanka, boy, they're two of a kind. And all the money, you know, there was an 8-day party in Washington before the inauguration, and it was at Trump Tower in D.C., which should have cost like $8,500 a day, or $85,000 altogether, and the Trump hotel charged $450,000. Jeez. Rick Gates testified in federal court at the Paul Manafort trial on August 7th and admitted for the first time in court that it was possible he'd stolen money from the inauguration funds. He probably took all 80 million of it and stuck it in his freaking offshore account. Well, I don't even know. Is he in jail? I don't know what happened to Rick Gates. He's another snake. Let's do Rick Gates. While we're on it, before we do Rick Gates, let's do Stephanie Wolkoff. I want to see how she's going to fare. Animal Totem Taro. It's like a tongue twister. By Lisa Robertson, illustrated by Eugene Smith. This is the first time I've used this, so it's got the pretty book, in case you weren't on with me the other day. I have shuffled them up, but we'll do it again. And, okay, so we're talking about Stephanie here. Is Stephanie going to be fully exonerated from being accused of stealing money? Is Stephanie Wolkoff going to be exonerated from stealing the money for the election? That girl didn't take a dime of that money. Is Stephanie Wolkoff going to be exonerated from stealing the money? Is Stephanie Wolkoff going to be exonerated from stealing the money from the Trump inauguration fund? You know, I hate a liar, and I hate a cheat. Which is why I have an ex-husband. What a jerk. Is Stephanie gonna be exonerated? Yeah, she will be. I feel it right here. Third eye. Stephanie's going to be exonerated. Well, let's see. Now, the other day also, I didn't show you the backs of these cards, but they sure are pretty. Look at that. Oh, maybe I did show them to you. Okay, so. Ace of Cups. Nine of Swords. Okay, see, this is where she is right now. Stephanie has been sitting up in bed worrying for the last 2 or so years because of what they've done to her. But it looks to me like it's going to be okay. And Spirit will be there to help her. Because as in the wider deck, right, in the wider weight deck, you remember that the Ace of Cups, the Spirit, is the white dove holding the host in his mouth. Well, you know, I think this is a hummingbird. But that's supposed to be Spirit. So, this is what's beneath Stephanie. The Eight of Swords. Well, that's a relief, a release movement. So she was, you know, the Furies were all around her. She couldn't sleep at night. She was having a nervous breakdown. The Nine of Pentacles. Okay, so this is the woman in her garden. The woman in her garden who is alone but wealthy, except it's reversed. Above her, Page of Swords. So this is bad news. Three of Pentacles in her near future. Interior influences are the Moon reversed, so secrets are going to come out. And her exterior influences are the Ten of Cups, so she's going to end up having, well, she has a wonderful family. She's got a wonderful husband. She's got 3 lovely kids. She'll be okay. And the High Priestess reversed is the Hopes and Wishes card. And the outcome is the Empress reversed. Okay. I love that cow. Okay, so these cards, I've not read these. I mean, I've not used these cards. Eight of Swords reversed. You know, as I said, she's gonna. This is freedom. Since she's pulled her boots on and pulled up her bootstraps, she's unbound. She's got freedom. She's unstuck. And the Nine of Pentacles reversed in her back and behind her is bad faith, loss of friendship. This is being cheated, roguery, you know, dealing with dishonest people. This is bad news. Page of Swords. But it also could mean that the imposter is going to be defeated. So that's good. Can you see all these? Yeah, I guess you can now. And the Three of Pentacles reversed. Pettiness and weakness are in her future, although I don't think that's her. I think that's what's going to happen to her. More people are going to try to mess with her head. So the Moon reversed is storms weathered, peace gained. Ten of Cups, happy family. She seems to have a really nice family, a really nice parents, really nice in-laws. Her children are lovely. Her husband seems very nice. So this is outside influences. So her family is probably really, really standing behind her and helping her. And hopes and fears, boy, yeah. So this is like war or destruction. And she fears that. And the Empress is final outcome. Defrauded out of an inheritance. Somebody's going to continue to screw her over. So for a while, people are going to continue to blame her. But you know what? She got her book out there. And the other thing is, she was meticulous about her records. She has, at one point, Melania told her to delete all their text, and she didn't do it. She actually even recorded, after she realized that Melania was throwing her under the bus, she recorded Melania on, I guess, a couple phone calls. But at that point, you know, you kind of have to cover your butt, you know. And I'd say I just don't know how people can do that, because I would never do anything like that. And that's why I always get it in the back, because I don't operate like that. And so I never see it coming when somebody, you know, pulls one over on me. And, you know, it's not that I'm naive. I have learned that I don't trust very many people, you know. I really don't trust very many people, but I have had to learn to be that way. This card was Two of Cups, Four of Pentacles. So anyway, Michael Cohen's book, I wonder if that's going to hit the ground running. I can't wait to get it. And you know what? The other thing is that this woman, Stephanie Wolkoff, has racked up $1 million in legal fees. Smart girl, writes a book everybody's going to buy, and she'll be able to pay it. Let's see what Michael Cohen's going to do. What kind of impact is Michael Cohen's book going to have on Trump? What kind of impact is the Michael Cohen book going to have on Trump? Of course, Trump's going to say, I barely knew the guy. What kind of impact is the Michael Cohen? Oh, I'm getting close to, I don't know, I might have to do this in another, I'll do it in another video. I'll come right back. Bye.